Hello, hello, and happy Friday. I'm going to take a few minutes while we're waiting for people to jump on, if there is anybody to jump on today, to tag some people in the post. If Facebook will let me. Because Facebook has been very interesting for me this week. I heard some people complaining about it. For me, it's just been so slow. A lot of the features don't want to work or come up or anything like that when I expect them to. Whereas they have in the past. Oh, and there's Melinda. Say hello, Melinda. Yay. It's that kind of day. It's the kind of day, at least for me here, where I can't, I lost my window, where I can't rely on divine timing happening. Today is certainly one of those days where I have to choose to make it happen and not wait for the window of that perfect timing of saying like, oh, all right, everything's going to flow good from here on out. You're ready to go. And just say, you know what? Things are messy. Things are sticky. Things are all bumpy and weird. And my husband's all over the place. And my appointment today. But I'm going to make this shit happen anyway. Because this is what I need to do. This is what is best for me. Yeah. So what has your day been like, Melinda? Just all over the place. She says she agrees with me. And her too. All right. So I do have some things to say because I didn't know if I'd actually, be able to catch anybody online. I had tried planning this in advance, and that's why there had been a post up for this yesterday, for this live stream. But when I realized that my appointment was still on, because it's been so cold here, and things have been being canceled left and right. I had an appointment canceled yesterday. I didn't know if this one was actually going to go today or not, so I kind of planned the live stream saying, well, I should be done by then. Then when I saw like today was kind of like going all bumpy and slow and a little weird around the edges, I was like, all right, let me take that off the post so people aren't expecting me to be on at 2, and let me see, what time I actually get back today, because it was going to be a longer appointment than usual because of children. Today's I love my daughter. I love my daughter day. I love my daughter. All right. So I will do cards. And I think Melinda's the only one on. I don't know. So I don't know how these things notify me on Be Live. All right. Well, there is no problem with Melinda being the only person on right now. I will draw cards after I do my little spiel here. It was something I was thinking about in the car on the way here, so I'm kind of glad I did take the opportunity today to be able to say this to everybody in case they are having this issue with the new year, because the energy is very different. We kind of had a bit of a preview in December for some of this slower paced energy. And no, there isn't anything wrong. There isn't anything wrong with you or out in the world, just because now we have to get used to this energy where things aren't going to be flowing so fast and so direct that it's going to be like wham bam, one thing after the other, and what's next. 2018, and especially January here, because we are now out of all retrogrades, this is peace. This is peace, and time is going to wend the way it will, and events are going to wend the way it will, but there are no pressing external influences on us right now. And so it might be a bit of a time when you are actually coming down off of the very intense and maybe stressful period of, the Mercury retrograde of the holiday season. And you might be finding that you're kind of decompressing a little bit. And you find all these little weird issues come up when you start decompressing. Because when you're in the thick of it and when you're in the flow of it, you're not always able to catch up and follow up on and deeply explore all the little things that do come up. You kind of have to push some of it off to the side. And so then when you are less stressed, these things come back to mind. Almost like a PTSD thing where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I dealt with that and I did that and I made that decision and I don't want to do that again. Or whatever it was that happened. There is this there can be this delayed reaction. And I think I'm finally through the thick of most of it. Yesterday, I was so full of energy. It was just like the universe is flowing through me. I was having a bit of a hard time finding a focal point, but I just kind of expanded and expanded and expanded because that's my thing. I don't ground anymore. Grounding for me just never really made sense. I expand into it. I get a bigger perspective, a bigger energy about it, and then I see what comes through because I'm pulling in more clarity then as well, not just more energy, because they're kind of part and parcel. Light is energy, but light is also information, or light does contain information packets. Today is a little bit more grounded, only in the sense that I feel like I have to be in the moment. I'm here, I am on, I am present. I have to get shit done. There's still all this willy-nilly stuff up here. That's okay. I don't have to decide on any of that now. And that kind of leads into what I want to talk about real quick. And that's if you are feeling stuck with making your goals, if you're saying I don't even know what I want to change, I don't know what else I could bring into my life that's going to make this better, I want you to know that is actually just part of the process. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your dreams. There's nothing wrong with any of it. Having that little bit of indecision is just part of the process of coming to deeper clarity. It makes you ask better and deeper questions. But sometimes getting stuck can turn into a thing. We don't always have a clear picture of what we want, no matter what all the other planning systems say. In dreamcasting, I fully acknowledge sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes you just don't know what you want or how to get there or what the next step is. And in dreamcasting, in my little world, that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be in that moment. But when you do come to those moments, remember that feeling stuck in the end is really, I guess I'm back on. Okay. It's still only a feeling. In all feelings, all of our emotions, in the end, no matter how intensely we experience them, we need to come back to this very base perspective that this is still only some kind of signal coming to us. It's some kind of intuitive guidance coming to us. And namely, when you're stuck, when you're indecisive, when you're feeling frustrated because things don't seem to be meeting up with your expectations, and so you feel like you're out of flow, that this is all points of unclarity. You're not clear. You're not clear on what's happening, on what's supposed to happen, on what should be happening, on even what you want to happen. So name it. Name it for what it is. And don't buy into the ego stories of, you should know. Who else would know this is your life? You have no dreams? You really only, you want to lose 10 pounds? That sounds shallow. Don't feed into that bullshit. Own the fact that you have to come into clarity, that you are being called to come into clarity. And in the end, those feelings are only signals. You can say, I fully acknowledge that signal. I fully acknowledge the frustration I feel because things aren't moving the way I think they should. I am frustrated because I can't seem to get the words or the concepts out about what kind of changes I even want to see in my life. I acknowledge the fact that I am feeling directionless. But it's okay. Remind yourself, this is just part of the natural process of things, of coming into clarity, of becoming a deeper you. It's just part of the human experience. And without this step, we wouldn't ask deeper questions. The questions that are going to bring us to a new perspective, to a new level of understanding. That's the questions that will help change our mindset, change our action, change our thought process, change those very micro things, because all those micro things do add up into big change. So, you've acknowledged you're stuck. You said, I feel frustrated. This frustration is just stopping me in my tracks. I fully acknowledge this is frustration because I don't know. I don't know something. Name that something as well. But then get practical. This is not the time to go looking for that huge vision all over again, because you have this dream, you've had this season, it's already come down into your being, and you're trying to manifest it, you're trying to work it. So it's not the time necessarily to go for the big picture. Now you just need to get practical. You need to get down to the daily level, because this is probably some level of that daily dream disconnect that I talked about on Wednesday on my business page. There's always a way through the unclarity, and you just have to find it. You have to feel into what is actually flowing and work with the things that aren't flowing without delving into deep analytics about it. So start with what you need. You need to change on the daily level. And it could be something very simple and very basic. I can't even think. I am so tired, I can't even think. Fix that first. I don't know where this came from off the top of my head. It might have been Rumi, but he said, don't make decisions, especially big decisions, when you're tired or you're hungry. And I would also add to that when you're feeling unwell. All that self-care needs to come first. You need to put a stop on trying to move forward until you actually have, not just the energy basis, but the health basis and the ability to even come to center about something. Because, that's real. You're not always capable of coming to a deep feeling and understanding of your own presence on a daily basis. If you have a cold and you are so stuffed up that you can barely breathe, you get your butt to the doctor, you take some medicine, and you try again in a couple days. If your body is out of alignment in that way, you're not going to get to the deep center. You have to heal. If your emotions are so out of whack, you treat it almost like an emotion cold. Take a couple days, you do what you need to do to start clearing some of that emotional act up to come back from a panic point, and you come back to a place where you can reach deep center again. So what do you need to do to change that daily level, your daily experience? Start there. Start with those small things. What is it going to take for you to get some support around this? What is it going to take in general Is there a task you know you need to add to your daily schedule that you've been resistant to? What do you need to look up? What do you need to research or learn more about before even being able to make a full committed decision to changing something? Exploring this, that, or the other thing is a perfectly acceptable starting goal. We don't have to make huge decisions all the time. Sometimes we just need to give ourselves the time and space to feel in, to learn into something, and to find what actually feels right and what actually feels good and what actually makes sense. And then, once you've tackled that, you can deal with more unknowns around it. Well, how can I be doing this better? And again, that learning process is going to start again. And this is essential to my whole process, to this whole dream casting process that I'm always going on about. I wrote a book about it because our relationship with the unknown, usually when we're coming from an uncentered place, when we're coming from a very ego-driven place, is that of, oh my God, I don't know. Crap, what's wrong with me? Why don't I know these things? Everybody else seems to know these things, but it's all bull. They only know, perhaps, and perhaps you're just guessing that they know because they've learned into it. And that's all you need to do too, to give yourself the time and space to learn into things. But this whole tip that I'm giving around getting stuck around your goals and not knowing what your goals are, that directionless feeling, is really just some tools to help you recognize what you don't know. Because once you name it, you just say like, well, maybe I do just need some more rest because I'm taking my supplements and I feel healthy otherwise. I'm just dragging. Maybe it is just a sleep thing. Yes, research and learn more wisdom and knowledge. And sometimes it's not even like academic learning. Sometimes it's going to be learning into how to better work your own patterns. I know that I try and push myself to be a more early riser, but that's not naturally who I am. So I'm always having this kind of discourse between ego and spirit, ego and intuition, saying like, well, I know I need to work a daily business thing, so I at least need daytime for that, even though I usually feel more awake, alert, naturally in center and in presence after 7. So you have to, but if you're not at a point where you can even recognize that that's the issue and you feel like you're just pushing something to happen, so you have to stop and come back and say, what am I unclear about? What am I trying to make happen? What am I trying to, not force, but what is this base assumption I'm making? That I have to be an early riser to be successful. Well, there are a ton of books that say that. Does that make that true for me? That is a brilliant question to just keep asking yourself, especially if you need that direction. And spirit will guide you, and spirit will be there, and it's going to say like, I love you. I love you the way I made you. You can choose to try and change some of these patterns. But when we start hearing what spirit actually is requiring of us versus what we are requiring, expecting from ourselves, we start to see a whole different way to live, a whole different way to be with ourselves. All right, that's what I had around that. I will get to cards in 1 second. I do want to remind everybody that I am beginning a Dream Casting Your Year class on January 15th, but it's a rolling class. But my early bird pricing will end when the doors open on the 15th, and then it will go up to full price. It's only going to be $50 for the early bird pricing and $75 afterward. So it's not like this huge investment, but this is a chance for you to get support all year long. There are monthly worksheets with the astrological influences and a little bit of self-discovery, not just around the astrological influences, but on helping you really sink into some of these tools that help you find your clarity and your center on a much more consistent basis. And dream casting, if you haven't seen the last two videos, it is really something different. And yes, I mean, I do use like planning worksheets and tools that you might have seen before, but I do that on purpose because I don't want the whole thing to throw you because it's all completely new. What makes it completely new is that we're coming from center. We're not just finding how we want to feel. That's part of it. We're not just changing some little habits or little patterns. That's part of it. This is a much more holistic concept, and it's coming from a place that conscious practices will bring you once you really start committing to it, to that daily practice of finding self and finding center and finding clarity before you tackle anything else. So it's a way of spiritually expanding while also trying to manifest your dreams. So dream casting, spell casting. So you're dreaming and you're in touch with that intuitive stuff, but you're also doing the casting part. You're also looking to cause those ripples out back into reality based on your decisions and your actions. So if you want to get more consistent and find a easy, organic, holistic way to bring your dreams and your light and your awakening into being this year, dream casting your year is the way to go. If you want to stop beating yourself up over every little random thing that seemed to throw you off and start really seeing into your pattern so that you can dissolve it, dream casting is what you want. And if you want to have a process you are going to want to return to time and time again, year after year, every 6 months, I do dream casting like semi-daily, because it feels good, and because it gets results, and because it's so holistic that you are growing with it. Because all change is the process of becoming. It's not just plugging things into your calendar. You want to take dream casting for your year. But in honor of that, I'm good. In honor of that, this is the first time I am offering dream casting as a class and not just a book. The book is more for business owners. But I am giving away my manifestation meditation. It's called Unleash Your Inner Priestess. And you use that on a daily, semi-daily basis to really start coming into the space that you might not have much experience with. It might be something that you've only experienced occasionally when you've thought to add meditation to your whole repertoire. But I know the last week or so, I'm like, all these things are flying across my screen. I'm like, I did not see that in real life. I don't know where that whoop came from. But meditation is the basis behind dream casting, behind coming into consciousness, behind further awakening, behind coming into deeper clarity. So I'm giving away that base tool for free, and you can grab it here. And when you do, it will show you more, or you'll get more information about Okay, that wasn't it. You'll get more information about the launch of the dream casting class. Yay, tack. There we go. Look at that. I understand how things work. And see, it's only kind. See, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to have everything so planned out down to the last detail in order to do something big, in order to offer to even help somebody. Because it's mildly entertaining for them, I think. I know I like watching other people to see them have to figure things out, to see them just succeed being who they are. And people do want that from you. They do want to know you're real and you're genuine. And they do want to see that big heart that is the key to your life, your flow, and your manifesting of your dreams. All right. Melinda, and anybody else who's online. If anybody else is watching, please let me know in the comments now so we can start getting people lined up for cards. Yeah, now if I can figure out how to get that purple bar to go away. Hey, look, there we go. There's a hide button. Oh, that's right. Okay, I just put that in there. So that means I can now show the link. But then you have a hard time seeing my face. So I'll put it back up at the end. But all right. Do you have a specific question, Melinda, surrounding your goals and your direction for 2018? And I am using the Enchanted Map deck today. Give me a minute to type your question if you actually got a question, because all you typed was yay. Okay. So Melinda just wants to know what Spirit has to say around her goals for 2018. Her goals, her striving, her dreams, plan of action. So we have Dragon's Lair. I can't get the words to come up. I actually feel like this is a call to, maybe not a call, but a sign, dear, that this will be a year where you start to unravel a lot of what's been holding you back. And I know these past few months have been a little stressful, and there's been illness in your household and all that. But this is a year where everything's going to start to come together in a different way. Like there's a much larger story being played out in your life. And once you start hearing little things around it, you're going to just kind of naturally come out of this deep freeze situation that's almost hermit-esque, like the hermit card, a state you've kind of been in, watching and learning, into something that's much more growth-filled and faster growth-filled. Especially this year, because this is going to be a huge manifestation year, even though it seems like it's going slower and we have to adjust to the pace a little bit. This year is a year where our direct action is going to get direct results. So this is the year to really grow into the actions we need to take in order to get the results we are actually striving and dreaming about. The ones we're actually, not just striving for, but the ones we are actually destined, fated to take on. because you wouldn't have that dream unless it was part of us, part of our hardwiring. So don't look for this to be a pushed or forced situation. I think as springtime comes, just go with the greening, and you're going to warm right up and come out of that dragon's lair. All right. I know that made sense to you. Right. All right. Both Facebook and BeLive are showing that Melinda is my only watcher for right now, and that is fine. This whole weekend, I will be watching this post. Later tonight, I'm going to my mom's house, but I will bring my cards so I can take a picture. So if you do have a question around your goals, when you watch this weekend, it's going to be the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. So if it's the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th, and you're watching this and you do have a question and you would like a card, put it in the comments, loves, and I will get to it. Maybe not immediately, but I will check several times throughout the day as we go through. Probably Sunday will be a little sketchy because I have to go all the way out to the boonies to my mother-in-law's house for our little Christmas celebration that'll be the 7th, but little Christmas is the 6th, close enough. Okay. I love you all, and I hope you sign up for dream casting because it is going to be a phenomenal boon to your year. And there is the link to get the free offer and to get into finding more information about the dream casting your year class. All right. Have a good weekend, Melinda. We have to see you soon. Bye.